Hello and welcome to Maverrik Live. I'm your host Luke 2 and today I'm joined by none other than Jay Unwin.
Hey!
Do you like our little wow?
I do love the intros. It makes me feel like really famous.
I feel like if I give a lot of energy to the introduction, the person on the other side of the table is like, right, I need to either match that or they're going to completely just go, hi.
It's just
okay.
drops off. Yeah. No,
fine.
I think that it's nice. I appreciate it. Thank you.
I'm going to keep shouting at you as
just do it. Go for it.
It's Wednesday. It's a time where the people who are currently working hard or on lunch right now are like, right, I have motivation to continue on for the rest of the week. Or they're just like, I'm really tired, stop shouting at me.
I'm going to go with the former, and we're here to just give people the energy to get through the remaining half of the week.
Fantastic.
Yeah, let's do it.
Today we're talking about turning followers into fans.
Yep.
Now, it's kind of, just like my lovely titles are always sort of like, hey, a little buzzwordy, but it is a genuine thing that people need to know how to engage an audience, how to turn people who are just visiting your page, or maybe a follower who's just come across you once, liked you, and then disappeared into the ether, and try and get them back into like an engaged pool, so you can talk to them, and then you can generate sales, business, and whatever you want to do really with these followers. Absolutely.
I think the thing with fans, and you can see this with kind of popular culture over the years. You can see it with musicians and film stars, and then more recently the kind of influencers on social media and stuff. But anyone who develops this kind of level of fame, even if it's niche fame, their followers don't just follow, they are invested in that journey. They feel like they're part of it themselves. They feel connected to these celebrities who they've probably never met, they've never spoken to directly, but it's that emotional connection and that, I guess, ownership of part of that journey.
Yeah, you hear people talk a lot about building a community, and then you say like the eyes kind of roll of like, oh, everyone sort of says that, but it genuinely is, because if someone you know and trust recommends something to you, you're like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out.
Yep.
Like I said, with a niche audience, if there's something, say, a niche board game reviewer, if they say, oh, this is probably my favorite game of all time, they're like, oh, cool, I'm going to check it out. And it's kind of the same vibe of if you're building like a company of your industry and saying, oh, we've got this really new product which is really great and it solves these issues, people are going to take it, less of just face value and deeply go, okay, these guys know what we're talking about, so this means that their product or service is going to be as good as they're saying it is.
Yeah, it's that level of trust, and I know we've talked about this before. And trust is vital. It's a vital part of any kind of business transaction, because you're not going to buy something off someone you don't trust. And developing that trust is really, really important. And perhaps in the past there was more trust of large brands and corporate entities and stuff, up till maybe probably until the 90s, that was, people trusted brands rather than individuals. Whereas now that seems to have shifted, and there seems to be less trust for faceless corporate entities and more trust now for people and smaller businesses. And large businesses can still cash in on it because they can leverage the individuals within their organisation to have their own kind of connections with people and things like that. It makes it more personal.
Because when you think of Tesla, I guess you think of Elon Musk. When you think of Amazon, you think of Jeff Bezos. It's Jez Bezos. You have the people, and then you have their companies. In a sense, it has shifted. It's gone from a Coca-Cola, we care, to oh hey, I'm the founder of this company, and I put all of my faith into this brand. You like me, so you must like my company. Yeah,
and there's a lot of people who don't like those people. So like to use, was it Jez Bezos? Yeah. Jeff Bezos as an example. Some people really admire his business success and what he's built. Other people aren't a big fan of him for various reasons. But that kind of polarizing thing is fine when you're trying to develop followers and stuff like that, as long as it's not artificial. I find really uncomfortable when people are trying to be edgy deliberately to polarize people, and you can tell it's fake.
You see it all the time in marketing, lead generation, sort of like when you say the experts, they're just like, hey, I don't around. I wanted, really like just swearing for the sake of it. And I never do it in any of our marketing or ever writing. If I do, I ever swear, I kind of bleep it out sometimes, just because if people are just listening randomly in the office, and they're like, what the hell are you watching? Watching some episode of Shameless or something. It's just like, what's the point?
And if you're edgy for the sake of it, although it will polarize people, and some people will be like, oh, I like the guy because he's funny or he's this or he's that. That's great.
He takes no crap here.
Yeah, exactly. Then that can be successful, but it works way better if you're just genuinely right. My cards are on the table. This is who I am. This is what I believe in. This is what I stand for. This is what I stand against.
If that's you, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I know authentic is another buzzword which has almost lost all meaning.
Yeah.
But it is just a case of if you're being yourself, because you will get people who will buy a Tesla because they like Elon Musk, not because it's actually the car they want. And you'll get people who will, and it's the same across the board for lots of different things. Because people become attached to the values of that person and the values of the company associated with them.
Yeah, because they understand that their name is to that brand.
Yeah.
So I'm going to bring it back and go through our own points now. So at the start, we've got how do we find the followers to begin with.
Sure, yeah.
And then it kind of leads into the consistent content, which I've got as well as another point. Essentially, if brands are coming out there with their news, with their content, it needs to stay consistent. And the way it stays consistent is by being authentic, like you said, and putting out good value out there, essentially. Yep. And you can use it with personal profiles. You've got people's Twitter pages. Whenever someone tweets, it can make stocks go up and down. And when they have a new product and they tweet something out of someone with high influence says, I really like this, it can go up. So the way the content moves and it cycles, if you keep it consistent throughout the board, that brand's going to get, followers, going to get traction, and people are going to start engaging with you because it's a consistent thing they can keep going back to.
Absolutely. And if you're following the kind of the best practice with content in a way which develops engagement, which I know is something else that we'll come on to, if you're developing your content to engage those followers, you can't just put stuff out and expect your followers to grow. It's got to be done in a way which encourages them to go, hey, I want to see more of this and I want to engage with it and have a conversation. Yeah. Because what you'll find often is that companies and individuals on any platform, it's not the people or companies with the most followers that do the best. It's the ones with the most engaged followers.
Yeah.
Even if you've got 10,000 followers versus someone else who's got 100,000, if your 10,000 are really engaged and you could be getting way more traction on each of your posts than a company that don't do good quality content. They've just got the following because they're a big household name or whatever.
Yeah, a lot of the time you'll find followers who follow companies for updates.
Yeah.
Maybe they are part of the service, or maybe they've just liked McDonald's because they've seen it.
Yeah.
But they're not going to start talking in their feed. They're not going to start retweeting their stuff. It's literally just, I use this product, so if any updates come along, I will follow. Exactly. That's not really engagement. You can have a high number of followers, like you said, but it won't build an audience, and it won't create like a buzz or a community.
Yeah.
They're just following you to, make sure they keep the updated. And that's fine. It's fine. But it doesn't create a good social strategy. No,
and it's like we've said, this is about turning followers into fans.
Yeah.
Those kind of things, that is followers, not fans. And that's the real key difference. You don't need a huge number of followers to have a successful business. You only need, I think there was that book Superfans, where it's talking about you only need 1,000 real good quality fans.
Yeah.
To have a really successful business, which isn't that many in the grand scheme of things when you look at kind of social media platforms and stuff. 1,000 isn't too many. So it's about the quality of those. It's 1,000 good quality, highly engaged fans.
Billions of users on these platforms.
Yeah.
So having just 1,000,
yep.
it seems easy enough to do, but people can still get it wrong. It's really hard to do as well. I've got reward engagement on here as well, but I think a lot of marketing companies, a lot of like social strategies revolve around giving rewards for engagement. So if you like and share this post, you'll get a contest.
Yep.
That can go either way, I'd say. Some people would follow and talk to you just for that post, just so they can get the reward at the end of the contest. But if you need to keep doing that in order to get that traction.
Yeah, you can't do it every day.
You can't give away a £100 Amazon gift card every day unless you're really big and you're thinking, okay, this is how I'm going to get my
engagement. And even if you did, it'd get boring for people.
Yeah, because they're like, okay, I never win, so I'm going to stop, doing the retweets. I'm going to stop liking and commenting on this post or sharing it.
Yeah.
And I feel like the contest sort of post has hit a drought.
Yeah.
Like everyone's done it. and now it's gone back down.
Yeah.
And you need to either really show that you've done it and given someone the actual prize, because a lot of time you can be like, oh, this is going to be fake as well.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a huge following and you're saying, hey, I'm going to give away like thousands of pounds, people are very skeptical online.
Yeah. I think that rewarding engagement doesn't have to be as obvious as that.
Yeah.
And I think that we're quite simple creatures in a lot of ways, humans. Yes, we like to overcomplicate stuff, but in essence, we still get joy and pleasure and feel rewarded in very basic ways. And so I think the best way to do this, again, on any platform, is when the engagement occurs, is to engage back.
Yeah.
Because when you see a brand or an individual replying to the comments on their post, it makes the person who's been replied to feel valued. It makes them feel like, oh, they've actually replied. They've taken the time to say, even if it's just a short response, thanking them for the engagement or responding to their question or whatever. It doesn't take much time, but it just makes that person go, hey, this company, this brand, this person, they actually care. They actually give a damn about my engagement, and therefore I'm going to do it more often. And not only that, but you might then comment back after you've had that response, and so the engagement increases. And when people do that on any platform, that's one of the key things within the algorithm. If you're engaging with posts, you're then going to be served more posts from those same companies, those same people, those same pages. And so if you're running a page like that and you want to be seen and you want these individuals who are interested to see more of your stuff, if you're replying and you're starting that conversation in the comments, that's going to make them feel valued. It doesn't need to be a contest. It can be as simple as that. And you don't actually have to reply to all of the comments either, because what I've found is even if I see some of the comments being responded to and it's not one of mine, I still think, oh, that's super cool.
Or if someone's commented, hey, you suck, and you're like, oh, well, thanks for that, Jim.
But I think it's great, and I think that when I see that encourages me to engage more, even if I wasn't responded to.
Yeah.
So it doesn't. If you've got 100 comments and you only reply to 25 of them, the other 75 are still going to see that.
Yeah, if you start a conversation within the chat and then you get back and forth, they'll get seen all of your stuff over and over again.
Yep.
It's like the algorithm's like, your grandma, where you tell her you like bananas, and next thing you know, you've got 100 different items of bananas for
you said you liked bananas.
Like, you said you liked Jay. Here's all of his posts for the last 20 years. Come on. And that's how it works. That's how the engagement works. So you need to generate those conversations and then talk to your audience. Maybe not your trolls. You're going to get a few anyway. Whenever you put anything out there, you're going to get trolls anyway. So not everyone's going to like you. And there's a thing where any engagement's good engagement. It's like bad press, isn't it?
Yeah, to a degree.
Yeah, to a degree. Like, you're not going to start just annoying people to get engagement, because that's another thing that's another tactic I see online on Twitter. Where people will put out controversial opinions just so they can get an argument going. I notice a lot of I'm going to get into conspiracy theories now. A lot of press.
How long have we got?
a lot of press Twitter does that.
Yeah,
they'll do the headlines, which will be very provocative.
Yeah, clickbait.
And then people will get really riled up about it, and then in the comments it'll just be full of arguments. But then it brings the whole their page up.
Yeah, and it'll be trending because of that. And it's like, that's a great short-term tactic, but as a long-term tactic, you're not going to grow any kind of brand loyalty through doing that. At least, you're unlikely to.
So you get a toxic community as well.
Yeah, and I think the thing is, you're always going to get a few people who dislike what you're posting, even if you're not doing that. But I think that what you'll often find is that if a company or a brand can reply in a kind of witty but not too aggressive way,
upbeat sort of
and
way,
defuse it. But you see these companies who've got really great responses to trolls. I know that Aldi have got a really great team doing stuff like that on Twitter and stuff, where they'll respond to things and it will go viral because people will go, yes, what a great response. And then people start feeling attached to that brand because they think, oh, they've got a sense of humour, they took that bit of banter, they came back with a bit of this, and then the person who initially, spouted a bit of vitriol at them just kind of comes back and like, oh, fair one, that's actually a really good response. Yeah, respect.
So it shows that you've been listened to, isn't it? So
it does,
you're not just like stone-faced walls.
It's that value
You're
thing
not talking
again.
to a building, you're talking to a person and who runs the account, and then you can, add that value, which is really great. We've got a comment from Robert. Says, does Jay not get mistaken for an intelligent Lawrence Fox?
No, I never have. That's a new one on me.
I'll just say Lawrence Fox in general. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're intelligent enough.
Lawrence Fox. Now, am I right in thinking he's the kind of guy who's gone into politics recently? Is that Lawrence Fox?
I thought you went into politics.
This is why I'm here. This is my platform.
I'm developing my. It's like your online name.
Is he part of the Freedom Alliance lot now?
I have no idea,
mate. I'm not 100% sure. I will withhold my judgment as to whether that is a compliment or not for the time being until I Google him later.
But thank you for commenting anyway.
But yeah, hopefully, I mean, if Rob, you could comment and let me know whether you meant that as a nice thing, then we can be friends.
If not, you're going to track him down. Then some stern words. Right, so I mean that's kind of. Have you got any final thoughts about building following? I say you've got a lot of fans online in your little community. I see a lot of people interacting with you on Facebook, on your pages,
I've got. It's the same little crowd. Whereas no matter the flux of followers, and this is in terms of stuff that I'm doing now with Maverrik, but also with the fitness stuff I've done in the past. The same people keep coming back because they've got value from what I've done before. Yeah. And so, and again, the stuff that I learned early on was value those people and they will value you. It's reciprocal. And it's this thing again where if you show that you care about people, then they're going to listen more. So it really comes down to that, the consistency of your posts and your content, and then showing that you care. And I think that with that, as long as you keep going with that and you be yourself, it might take a bit of time, but you will get those fans.
Yeah, and if you've got already a large network, and it can be quite tough to deal with a lot of relationships at once, which is why you have CRMs, so you can track of where people are, and you can also make a few notes about you can even scroll through your own messages to just remind yourself, because I do it myself to my actual friends. Well, I'll forget stuff that's happening in their lives. So it's a good way to just remind yourself and then, sort of take the time to realize who you're talking to, realize why they're talking to you, and then you can go through your history and then offer some value that way, rather than just being like, okay, I'm just going to react to your next comment, comment. Think about the whole history of that conversation before you just immediately reply. Because it can be exciting to be like, oh, I want to do a quick response. But if you know who you're talking to and it's a fan, like you said, it'll be really handy to do that. So thank you for watching Maverrik Live. Thank you, Jane, for coming down.
Thank you for having me. And
we'll be back on Friday for our next show. Don't forget to subscribe to us on Maverrik and click the notification bell. And every time we go live, you'll be reminded of when we're going to be on.
I've got that notification on.
Yeah, you've got it?
I get a little notification every time.
Fantastic. I hope you're watching every show.
Absolutely.
Are you a fan?
I am a fan, Luke.
Brilliant. So we'll see you Friday for our next show. Thank you once again. This has been Maverrik Live.